We talk about adaptive coping is actually easier than we think it is to do the things that are beneficial to us. Work in general is an extension of play. We don't tend to think about it like that, right? We separate work from play, and that's because many of us are just working to survive. We're working to pay bills, we're working because it's the norm, but that is not originally how work became a staple in our society, right? People were tinkering, doing the things that they absolutely loved. I love, making shoes, and I created a business making shoes. I like creating swords, and I made a business doing that. And I love tending to animals, and then we just kind of bartered and traded and created businesses, right? But it originally started with play. They spent their 8 to 12 hours a day doing what they love, right? So they became masters at it. It wasn't just that I'm coming to work, clicking the button, clocking out, getting my paycheck. And it's nothing wrong with that, right? But just think about 30 years of that. At the end of your life, will you feel regret because work was an extension of play? You didn't play as hard as you worked? Same thing with all of these. It's easy to ignore socializing. I don't know about you, but I tend to be a little antisocial sometimes, right? That's easy to do because to deal with people is work. It takes work. And I was like, I don't have the energy today. I'm going to isolate, right? Right? And that's okay, right? It's okay to isolate sometimes when you need it. But when it becomes a go-to method, it's now maladaptive, right? Same thing with your diet. Diet is not just what you eat. It's everything you consume. What you read, what you listen to, who you talk to, where you're at. Everything you consume is your diet, okay? So you can't say, I want a healthy, happy life, and then you watch negativity. You go and turn on a movie, and they're like, bang, 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 bang. That's not peace. That's not happiness, right?
To who, though?
Your mirror neurons in your eyes, because your mirror neurons do not know the difference between what is happening out there and what is happening to you. So if you watch it, and I can test it right here, when you watch scary movies or action movies and they jumping off cliffs, what you doing?
Jumping off the cliff too.
Holding your seat, bracing yourself. You ever play any type of gaming system and your person got to jump and you jumping with the person? You trying to make them run? Same thing. Your eyes doesn't know the difference. So you watching someone get shot at and your body is producing cortisol.
So what about the people that like stuff like that? Like, that are indifferent, that are different. I'm not gonna call them crazy, but they're different, and that gives them an adrenaline up, and it makes them feel good, right? It doesn't make them, so what about those people?
So...
and it'll be the opposite, like something else, it would just make them sad and somber and stressed out.
So it just depends on why you came here, right? We all come for different reasons. Some people, whether you want to believe it or not, came for chaos. They came for mayhem.
But isn't it also maladaptive coping?
Unless you came for chaos and you came for mayhem. Then it's aligned. You feel good doing these things. But if that's not why you're here and you do those things, you won't feel good. Right? So if I'm a light being, I didn't come here for that, and I want peace, and I want love, and I want harmony. I'm not watching people bang, 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 shoot them up. I'm not watching people smack each other and fight each other. I'm not watching that because it's counterproductive to what I say I am and what I want in this world.
Is that like the preacher's curse?
That for me, I would not, I don't understand the concept of making words that you can't say. So I don't know about that. If we can't say them, why did we make them? Doesn't make sense, right? I don't know about that. That's more like religious part. But for me, if I say I'm a peacekeeper, I can't be dabbling in violence. That makes me a hypocrite, right? So it's really knowing who you are, what you came here to do, and aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions behind, what you came here to do. Some people, we see the commercials where he's like, I'm mayhem. I love those commercials because realistically, if you believe in light, there's shadow, there's darkness. There's always opposite of what you believe, right? And so you can live in the world and you forget. You're so removed from the chaos and you think that everything is supposed to always just be sunshine, roses, and bunnies, and it's not that.
I have a question. Now, what happens if you do too much of that?
Too much of what?
Sunshine, and all you want to watch is, this is me, I'm speaking about myself, spiritual, good graces, happy people, happy endings, but I think I get obsessed with it.
Okay, I was doing that, and what that did is show up in how I displayed myself in the world. So instead of me seeing people for who they really are, I would project to them or project onto them what I thought that they should be. And it put me in situations where it wasn't beneficial to me.
But that's not just because you were watching that much. That's because your discernment wasn't strengthened.
And because in general, people tend to project what they are. And so if I'm a light, happy person, then I tend to see light, happiness in all people, right? If you're a light, happy person, you'll see Eeyore and be like, oh, he's so sweet. He's so, and everybody's like, no, he's depressed, but you don't see that, right? Because you project onto others what you are. We don't really see people for who they are. We see them as we are, right? It takes a lot of work to be able to uncover your own stuff and see people the way that they are, right? Many of it, that takes years and years and years of like reprogramming, healing, those types of things.